This ancient fruit has been revered for centuries as a symbol of health and vitality, but modern science is just now uncovering why it's so powerful, and turns out it's actually perfect for weight management. The secret isn't just in its vitamins, it's a unique chain reaction that starts in your gut and ends with your cells burning fat more efficiently. So let's quickly dive into 5 ways pomegranates directly support fat loss. Now, if we really want to understand how pomegranate helps with weight, we have to start deep inside your body, at the level of your very own fat cells. This first mechanism affects everything that follows. So we're starting with what's happening inside your fat cells. When you carry extra weight, especially around your belly, your fat tissue can become chronically inflamed. Think of this like a low-grade fire burning in your cells. This inflammation makes your fat cells resistant to signals that tell them to release energy. Here's where pomegranate comes in. It contains powerful compounds called punicalagins. These transform into substances called urolithins. These urolithins travel through your bloodstream and act like firefighters for your cells. They help put out that low-grade inflammation in your fat tissue. When the inflammation calms down, your fat cells become more responsive. They're better at releasing stored energy when your body needs it, which helps your metabolism function more efficiently. That's how pomegranate helps your cells work better. Let's talk about the practical side though. How does it actually help you eat less without trying? So this next benefit connects directly to feeling full and managing calories, which sets the stage for everything else we'll discuss. The juicy seeds, called arils, are packed with dietary fiber. A half-cup serving, for example, gives you about 4 grams of fiber. Here's what that fiber does in your body. First, when it reaches your stomach, it absorbs water and expands. This expansion sends stretch signals to your brain that say, "I'm full." Secondly, fiber slows down how quickly food leaves your stomach. This means the feeling of fullness lasts longer after your meal. Third, when fiber reaches your large intestine, it feeds the good bacteria living there. These bacteria then produce compounds that further help regulate your appetite. So feeling full is great, but what about the food you actually eat? This is where pomegranate gets really clever. The next 2 benefits work together to change how your body handles the energy from your food, both the sugars and the fats. Managing your blood sugar is crucial for weight management, and here's why. When you eat carbohydrates, they break down into sugar that enters your bloodstream. If too much sugar enters too quickly, your pancreas releases large amounts of insulin. Insulin's job is to store excess energy, and one of its favorite storage spots is your fat cells. Pomegranate contains natural compounds that help manage this process. These compounds mildly inhibit an enzyme in your small intestine called alpha-glucosidase. This enzyme's job is to break down complex carbohydrates into simple sugars. By slowing this enzyme down just a bit, pomegranate acts like a speed bump for sugar entering your bloodstream. So the result? No dramatic sugar spikes, which means no dramatic insulin surges. This helps create an environment where your body is more likely to burn stored fat rather than constantly store new fat. So we've handled the sugar, but what about the sheer amount of energy you consume? So the next point is the foundation of weight management. The most fundamental rule of weight management is energy balance, calories in versus calories out. The challenge is creating a calorie deficit without feeling hungry or deprived. This is where pomegranate's natural composition helps. It's what nutrition scientists call a low energy dense food. This means it provides a lot of food volume for relatively few calories. A full cup of pomegranate seeds, which is a substantial satisfying portion, contains only about 140 calories. Compare this to many other snacks where you might only get a few bites for the same calories. When you eat pomegranate, you're filling your stomach with food that takes time to chew and digest, sending fullness signals to your brain, all while consuming minimal calorie. When you eat pomegranate, you're filling your stomach with food that takes time to chew and digest, sending fullness signals to your brain, all while consuming minimal calories. So we've handled calories and sugar, but what about dietary fat? This final mechanism is fascinating because it works in a completely different way from the others. It's one of the most interesting mechanisms that researchers have discovered. In your digestive system, there's an enzyme called pancreatic lipase. Its job is to break apart the fat molecules from your food into smaller pieces that can be absorbed through your intestinal wall. Studies have found that certain compounds in pomegranate can gently interfere with this enzyme's work. It's not about blocking all fat absorption, that would be unhealthy, but rather creating a mild natural reduction in how much dietary fat your body absorbs. There's research that suggests this might reduce fat absorption by a small percentage. While this isn't the main way pomegranate helps with weight management, it's a consistent supporting factor that complements the other benefits. So we've seen 5 different ways pomegranate supports weight management, from your cells to your stomach to your bloodstream. Now, how do you actually put all this science into practice in your daily life? To get the full benefit of all these mechanisms, you need to consume pomegranate the right way. That means choosing whole arils over processed juice. The juice lacks the crucial fiber and sometimes has added sugar that works against these benefits. So try adding maybe half a cup of pomegranate seeds to plain Greek yogurt, or sprinkle them on salads, or mix them into oatmeal. Combining pomegranate with protein sources creates an even more powerful effect. The fiber from the fruit and protein from foods like yogurt work together to enhance fullness and stabilize blood sugar for hours. Pomegranate isn't a magic solution, but it's a scientifically backed nutritional tool that supports your body's natural systems in multiple complementary ways. When combined with other healthy eating patterns, these small advantages work together to create meaningful, sustainable results over time.